Boom! New Amonkhet spoiler in the house. Archfiend of Ifnir is so good in Modern Living End. Wow, I'm actually excited about a magic card. I'm actually excited. Welcome in. Much love, Trav here. I'm excited because this weekend I'm flying to Texas and I'm playing Living End, most likely in this Grand Prix. And this is a card that I would love to have in my deck as a minimum 2 of, maybe even 4 of. It is really sick. So the first of all, it's just a good card. 5 mana, 5/4 flying, reasonable stats. Cycle to put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponents control. This is pretty good. I could see this. We'll have to see what support it gets in standard. It is a harbinger of more cycling to come, so more toys for Living End. Maybe this will be part of a cycling deck in standard. Maybe there's going to be cycling lands. I don't know. I'm pretty stoked on that, but specifically for Living End. So if you don't know how Living End works, it is a deck that tries to play cards that have, say, Cascade, and flip cards from your deck until you hit Living End. Cast Living End, returns all creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield, and puts all creatures in play to the graveyard. So it inverts the graveyard and the battlefield. And in order to hit Living End with 100% consistency, the deck can't play anything that costs less than 3, or sometimes less than 4, if you're playing like Captured Sunlight or Bloodbraid Elf. And therefore, everything else in the deck should basically be lands or creatures that say cycling. So right now with the Living End, you have a bunch of shitty commons, and now we have a rare cycler. Well, actually upgrade commons to rares. Maybe there's more cyclers coming at the 1-drop slot, but this one is really nice, particularly against anything with creatures. It's great. I see this being great versus Affinity. Affinity's got a bunch of flyers and go wide. They can sacrifice everything to Ravager. I played Jungle Weaver for Affinity. This is way better than Jungle Weaver. Way better than Jungle Weaver, because you get the 5/4 flyer and play instead of a 5/7. They can Galvanic Blast it, but can't be Lightning Bolted. Now you can cycle all your Ink Moth, Blink Moth, Vault Scourge, get -1/-1. I see your Ravager over there, but this is still pretty effective against that. So I would be really happy to play this. Again, 2, maybe 3, maybe even 4 in the 75. Also, this is great as a plan B, because the way Living End works a lot of the time is you will sweep the board, and then you start casting your monsters on turn 5. You've got like 5 mana 3/4 shoot down a flyer. You've got 5 mana 4/4 must attack. You've got 5 mana 3/4 swamp walk. You've got 6 mana 5/3 regenerate, 6 mana 4/5 reach, 7 mana 5/7 flyer. This thing is way, way, way better. Maybe you have Shriek Maw, 5 mana 3/2 destroy your thing. This thing is way, way better than the options available. 5 mana 5/4 flyer, and you can still cycle. This thing dominates the board. This makes Living End's plan B way better. So that's why I could see it being a 4 of as well. If you're on the plan B of cast creatures, cast rares, this is the one actually. So I'm excited. And I have to say that actually Wizards is doing a good job with Modern. They're finding a way to print cards that aren't too good for Standard, or aren't even good in Standard, but shake up Modern. And this is another one of them. I hope Living End doesn't get banned at the end of all this, but and you go to MTG Goldfish and look at the metagame right now, where Standard actually do this, or you don't have to, I'll tell you, and why I'm happy about Modern right now. Modern has a lot of problems, and one of those problems is the sideboard cards being too strong. But diversity and options is not. If you look at Standard right now, the 2 decks, Mardu and Saheeli, add up to 60% of the metagame. In order to add up to 60% of the metagame in Modern, you have to add up about 20 decks. It's over a dozen decks in the space of 2 decks in Standard. Living End is not even in though. Living End is like 1% of the meta. You get paired against Living End like 1 in 100 matches. It's awesome. It's really cool. So play Modern. I play Standard because of the Pro Tour. I don't think I would otherwise. Some Standard GPs here and there. Standard can be good. It's more hit or miss. Standard is like good. Can be great. It can be really, really bad. Modern's always good, at least. It's never that stale, you know. It's boring to play against Affinity for the 6th year in a row, but at least it's not Affinity every round, and you don't have to play Affinity to win. You can play Living End. You can play a lot of different stuff, so I'm pretty excited. That's what I've been working on. I'm excited to play with this, although I don't have any more Modern tournaments on my schedule until GP Vegas. Maybe I'll play Living End in Vegas. Probably. I hope so. So share my list on that. If there's any good spoilers, send them my way as we get ready for Pro Tour Amonkhet in Nashville. Very exciting. Once again, much love. Thank you all, and I will see you in the comments. Let me know what you think.